This is Johnny Wrestling, Johnny Gargano, and you are listening to the Bob Culture Podcast.
Nothing between the lines of the page or at a time. Forgiveness is for angels, but this angel fell out of line. That's in no second chance or redemption can be found. 'Cause you can't run the devil and the devil is running you down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to a very special edition of the BCP. Very excited, goodest brother, to welcome into the show. Welcome back to the show, I should say. He's a former UWA Elite Trios Champion, the master of the fish, guitarist for an amazing band. They're doing some great stuff. We saw them last time. They're doing it again. Linkin Park Night at Big Shots, another tribute to Chester Bennington. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Very well.
July 23rd here in New Jersey. Very excited to welcome back to the show, Mr. Lukas Finnegan. What's up, bro? Welcome back, man. How are you?
Hello, fellas. How are you?
What's going on, man? Kicking out at 2.
Oh,
Well, 2.5 anyway.
two and three quarters.
There you go.
Good to see you, man.
Great
So
to
much-
see you guys.
It's so
Appreciate
much
it,
to
man.
talk
Thank you.
about, man. Let's do the music stuff too, man. You know, we started out
yeah.
as a local band music show first, man. Let's start there. We'll talk wrestling for everyone tuning in. Lots to talk about. We had you on before. You guys did this Linkin Park tribute show, which is no easy task. From a musician perspective.
Yeah.
Doing not only the music, the DJ, the tech, everything that comes with it, the effects, and then filling the shoes of not only Chester Bennington, but Mike Shinoda.
Yeah.
You guys did a great job with that.
Thank you.
Give you guys a lot of credit of that, but also, fantastic job.
Thank
Guys,
you so
gotta
much.
check this out. But the gentleman, and you guys had rotating vocalists, but one of the gentlemen in particular really knocked it out of the park, doing Chester justice and like chills, man. You know what I mean? What was that like for you being on that stage and be part of it? Because there's a lot of emotion, and it was all for a great cause too.
Yeah.
So it's an incredible feeling, especially when, for me, it's the closest I'll ever get to seeing Linkin Park, because I never got to see them when they were.
Yeah, I never got to see them either. That was on my bucket list. I never got to see them.
With Chris Cornell too, of course.
So when the guy that runs Futuristic Fields, this guy Brian Boxley, when he put this whole project and idea together, I had to jump at it, because I was originally doing guitar for their emo nights. They would do like an emo night Brooklyn thing, but they would.
Yes, I've been to a few of those. They're great.
But we would do our whole full live band and stuff like that. So when he originally came out with that idea, I was playing guitar for that. And but he always knew I was more of a metal guy, and I was never really into emo music at all. So one day he was kind of like, "Hey man, like we're gonna start doing this Linkin Park thing. Would you kind of want to switch to just that and have this other guy come in and do the emo stuff?" And I'm like, "Hey man, as long as I'm playing, amazing, awesome." And especially if it's Linkin Park, I'm super fucking down for it. So the first one was, we didn't know what to expect, and especially since his death was so new and raw.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of didn't know if it was right to do, if it was like just too new for some people that are like diehard fans and stuff like that. Would it seem like a money grab? Would it seem, like just too insincere? And but the leading up to it, the practices and stuff like that, we started like really getting into it, and I bought like songbooks just to make sure I got the stuff right and everything. And but the first one hit so hard. And like there was a little, like technical difficulty, like in the first like 2 songs, but once that was gone, man, we were going on all cylinders, and people could feel it. And it was like, once we got done, it was like this was a good memory for somebody that didn't get to see them. And it was a good memory for me because I never got to see them.
You said that perfectly, man.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear.
You opened with that. They didn't come to Jersey particularly too often.
Yeah, I didn't hear them come to Jersey a lot.
But I did see them the one time at PNC. Like they were in New York a lot and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was really cool to see him. And a lot of people, I mean, even Vicky, she was the one like, hey, let's go to this. My sisters went without me and I'll never forgive them. Like this is the closest and it was very emotional. Like, and that was the first thing you even said, like, hey, like this is the closest I'm going to get to seeing or being a part of Linkin Park in any form or fashion. Did you get a lot of like positive feedback and things of that nature?
Yeah, the first one was awesome because it was like brand new and everything. And the second one we did, leading up to it was a little squirrely. There was a PA issue and like a mixer issue and stuff to the point where like I'm pretty sure you were there already when the whole mixer had to be swapped out for an entire new mixing situation. Everything had to be remiked. And
so I like drums, bro.
And the first song was pretty much a sound check. Like Paper Cut was a sound check for the entire thing. And like there's a couple issues of like being able to hear the backing track of like the DJ scratches and some of the instrumental stuff. Like while we're on stage, we're just kind of like hoping we're in time.
Super important. I've flown in the dark before when all the amps are in front and but you know the song, but it's like I know that feeling. It's scary. Yeah,
exactly. Because some of these, and a lot of them I was starting first. So like, there's a couple songs that start with like that lo-fi kind of radio effect on the guitar, and like I got to make sure I'm on time or else everyone's fucked in this song.
Yeah. Man.
But but that one came out really good. And then we decided to do One More Light at the during the encore. And you could just like Vicky was like crying in front and stuff, and there was people you could tell were like super emotional about it. And I was super emotional about it. And I was like, I didn't want to look at anybody because I'm gonna start crying. Yeah. So yeah, that one was fucking awesome. And this one we're kind of gearing up for. Hopefully we're gonna start practicing within like the next week or so and get all, because so far the first two albums are pretty muscle memory for me at this point.
That's awesome.
And it's really just picking like what new encore songs do we want to do? Like what songs haven't we touched from the later albums that like we know people will love? Like, we got to pick out some of the ones that they did on like the Transformers albums and stuff.
Ooh,
you know what I mean? Like some of the ones that, some of the ones that, weren't necessarily on like the bigger albums, but like even just like soundtracky kind of songs. And I floated trying to get maybe some of the Grey Days stuff in there, but I think they want to keep it more just straight Linkin Park, straight the stuff that they,
I was gonna ask, would you guys ever consider doing how they did the album with Jay-Z? Would you ever get somebody to maybe do like encore or something like that?
I mean, I think that'd be an awesome idea. I mean, I can float it. It's just it's one of those things where does a purist that someone sees like Linkin Park tribute.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, do they want to go and hear, do they want to hear the remix? Do they want to
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, not everyone.
You kind of want. Yeah, I love it. You kind of want to keep it safe. I bet.
Like if we did like both albums and then like we're gonna do like 3 songs from Reanimation. Like, does somebody really want to hear the?
Yeah, you get opinions on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you guys did a great job. Stick to the script. You guys tried so hard and you got so far. But really, really great job.
Solid puns.
So July 23rd, Big Shots. I'm gonna try my best to be there again.
Yeah, me too.
Guys. And usually involved with a really great cause, and also. That's what it's all about. But also, you guys really do Linkin Park justice. I'm not just saying that because you're here, man. I came in very critical, man. I know music. It's hard to replicate. Like I came in like, are they gonna do this justice? And you mentioned One More Light. Like that was one that really stood out because he matched Chester's not only pitch and tone.
That's amazing.
And timbre, but just the emotion. I was like, man. So really well done, man. I'm excited for you, man. What else you got going on with the tunage now? Because I know you're also doing wrestling themes, a little bit of that, man. Something I've dabbled in a little bit.
So like, so honest to God, the wrestling themes have kind of slowed down a lot. I mostly do them now for like my closer friends that are just like, hey, you know, can you do this for me? I haven't been active on Fiverr or anything in a long time. You know what it is? I think it's personally for me, I'm very kind of like taken back and kind of I get kind of self-conscious about like other theme people because there's a lot that are close, especially in New Jersey.
Yep.
So like you got the guy John
Kieran.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've worked with him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
really good dude.
Exactly. He's like me and him, like we connected and we started like messaging and stuff on like Twitter and everything. And he was like, oh shit, I didn't know you were another Jersey guy. And I'm like, yeah, man, you know, I'm just trying to, but like he's definitely got a bigger foot in the door for themes and stuff, especially some of my friends around here that are just, they're like, they see him first because he's got his name on bigger names already.
He's got the resume.
Yeah. So it's one of those things like shit, you know, and then you've got, you know, Ruckus and he's doing awesome work. And
he's really found his groove lately. Like,
and, but he, you know, so I'm saying like, he's another 7-string guy. Like we're all doing like 7-string metal type themes, those songs and stuff. So, it's hard sometimes right now. I'm just kind of just, you know, if somebody asked me to do one, like Kyle, the Beast asked me to do another one I'm working on. Yeah.
Is it reminiscent of Muse a little bit, maybe?
No, that was the last one I did.
Oh, so you did do that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I did.
Good job. Great job on that.
Thanks, man. So I did his last one. And what kind of disheartened me a little bit from it was when he did his AEW Dark Spots, they wouldn't let him use it because of they wanted Ruckus to do his thing and everything. So
that's how it goes.
Oh, well, shit, you know, but yeah, like he's got me working on one. Colton Charles from WrestlePro, he wants me to work on one a little bit that I've been working on. And it's really just, you know, whoever asked me, I'll put the work in. It's just I feel like there's so many bigger names out there doing it that are super local, that are kind of like, if you want it to go somewhere, like they're the name to do it. Right. I'll give you something to work with that you can come out to. Yeah. But like, I feel like these other guys out there are doing so much better work that like, it's almost like, I'm like, just fucking, if you can afford it. Yeah. You're building your
I was about to say though, the talent and the work will shine through though. Yes. If you do good enough work, even though you know, the resume might not be as big.
Yeah.
It could be word of mouth, you know, like if you do great work, people will be like, oh, look at this guy, you know.
We love all those. We love Kieran. We love It Lives at Breeze. Dan. We love all those guys. I've been happy to work with them. It's great, man.
Yeah, so I was doing decent on Fiverr for a minute, and
oh, nice.
But it got very. Some people, it's one of those things like you don't. When I'm person to person, I can tell somebody's musical wants and needs and stuff like that through texting and messaging and stuff, through like the Fiverr app and everything. It's some people end up being so hostile and not like, you're like, no, it's supposed to be this way. I want, like, dude, like I'm trying, like, you know,
and not everyone speaks the language of music. I was helping someone the other day, like, hey, can you help me say what I'm trying to say to this person? I was like, oh, this is a 6/4. Like, you don't want it. You want like a 4/4. You want to straight change the feel, you know, instead of more of a dance feel, more of a breakdown. You want like a raw kind of thing.
Yeah. Stuff like that. This is like, they don't understand or anything. And it's kind of like, I'm not going to fight with you about your, like, I will refund you whatever money you've put on this Fiverr thing, and just, you can go find someone else. I'm not going to argue with you.
Now, did you make your own theme?
Oh yeah.
My man.
Oh yeah. My theme is a rip off of Shipping Off to Boston. If Korn,
it has to be. Yeah, it has to be.
I made Shipping Up to Boston by Korn. That's what I did.
Yes. It's perfect, man. That's amazing. You mentioned WrestlePro, man. I want to talk about this, man. I was putting it on social media. I literally texted you like during your match.
Oh, yeah.
We're at WrestlePro. I think it was the Battle Royal. We got to talk about the fish. We'll get to that. In a minute.
Yeah.
So for those listening who aren't as familiar with Lukas just yet, and check him out. We'll get all the shameless promo in a little bit.
All the plugs.
He does a great job with his persona because he has done something. I think you even said, I'll let you tell that story, that some people haven't seen before. But basically, instead of the frog splash, he does what he calls the fish. And it's, I can't explain it. You jump off the top rope. I'm doing the hand motion, and I don't know how you're able to get that many. Rotations is not the word, but
flops,
yeah, flops in
flippities.
We're watching you do that. You run it. You get in the battle royal. You hit your stuff. Whatever it is. Congrats, Vargas. I'm winning that one.
Yeah,
it's great.
He deserves it.
I'm a little intimidated by him, but you jump.
He's a big teddy bear.
Oh yeah. That's it. That's my guy.
A murder teddy bear.
Yeah.
I was about to say it. Destructive teddy bear.
But you hit 3, I think, or 3 or 4, almost every turbo.
I did 3. I hit 2 and missed the third one.
Yes, that's what it was. But we're by kind of where Killer Cross is signing. He is losing. I text you right away. I'm like, bro, he loves this. He is laughing. He's losing his mind.
He really was.
I wanted you to know that because those are your peers.
Yeah.
I wanted you to know that. And I'm like, this is really cool to see, man, because we want to see all you guys succeed. I don't think he'll ever forget that, man.
No.
What's some of the feedback you got on that move? Because it always gets a pop.
So I'll try and keep it as short as possible because I have been doing that since 2016. And so what happened was, I'll try to keep it short. It's a long one, but I've been doing that motion, like the fish motion, into a pool since I was like 10 off a diving board.
It's the best practice. It's the best practice
because I would do it and I would pop my friends because they just like, it's so ridiculous or whatever. So come 2015, 2016, I did it at my buddy's pool while I was wrestling for UWA. And he goes, bro, you should do that off the fucking top rope. And I just light bulb fucking, I was like, why have I never thought this
really
before?
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to say it was either that night or the next day I was wrestling at the Middlesex County Fair. And me and my old tag partner, Clay Sawyer, I was like, dude, I'm going to do this splash. You just gotta, you can move. I don't care, whatever the fuck, but I'm going to do this splash and you're just going to have to watch. And then we're just going to have to see how
you're going to have to trust me.
Exactly. We're going to have to see
Yeah.
And the funny thing was the guy that I was about to do it to, Jimmy Lloyd.
Okay. Yeah.
Who's gone on to big things.
He's been through worse. He's been through worse. Yeah.
Yeah. So I go to do this. I go to do the fish, and it pops, and fucking the whole crowd was like, "What the fuck did I just see?" And from that point on, though, it became almost just like a comedy false spot. I would always miss. It was like. It was always like Flair's axe handle.
I was just about to say.
People would always just cut him off and just grab. It was Flair's fucking axe handle. I would always go up and people would roll out of the way. And I dinged my knee a bunch of times on it. Ooh. But yeah, I was doing that forever. And then I took time off in 2017. And I came back here and there for UWA for some shows here and there, just for fun or whatever. Pandemic hits. We start getting them stimmy checks. I said, you know what? I'm going to fucking put some money into myself. And WrestlePro was having their first open house back since the pandemic opened. And I went and I talked to Pat Buck and I was like, listen, I was trained by so-and-so, but I think there's so many holes in my technique and game and everything like that. And he was like, all right, yeah. So we, paid the guy and I started training there, and I was like, there were so many things where I was like, well, I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing that wrong. I'm getting up the wrong way. And so many things that people should have slapped me in the head a couple of times and be like, hey, you've been doing this wrong for years. Maybe somebody should have
Yeah.
should have helped me at some point. But yeah, so I finally get on my first WrestlePro show, and it's a pre-show. And I'm the guy for the hot tag. I get the hot tag. Everybody does everything, little shotgun thing at the end. I finally do the fish. Everybody pops for it. It's awesome. Some of the guys in the back already knew I did it, so they were like just watching and waiting for it to happen. And then, but Kevin Matthews saw it, and he's one of like the bigger bookers over at WrestlePro, and he's like, "It's fucking amazing! Like the fish is over. We gotta put this out there as much as possible." So, flash forward to the Battle Royal, the Royal Rumble. They're like, all right, here's your spot. The minute your music hits.
Yep.
You're doing a fish to GKM. You're doing a fish to Steel. You're going for a fish on CPA. He's missing and he's throwing you out. I'm like, okay, whatever you want. And I do them. And in retrospect, like trying to go for it on CPA as a baby face is like, he's like their giant baby face. So like nobody's going to want me to fucking land on CPA. So we do it, and you immediately texted me, and you said, "Fucking Cross popped so hard for that." So another cool story. The same night, I go to the bathroom, and fucking Bullet Club, fucking
The Good Brothers,
Good Brother,
Gallows or Anderson.
Yeah, Gallows turns to me while I'm at the urinal. And he goes, "Hey, man, were you the guy that did that fish?"
No way.
Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, that was me." He's like, "That is the best damn thing I've ever seen in my life."
That's amazing. Come on, man.
And he's like, and he was giving like, he was cool. He was super cool about it. He's like, you gotta kind of do like a motion or like say something. And I was like, yeah, I go like, I was like, yeah, I go like this. And I say, we're going fishing. He goes, "Oh, I just didn't hear it or see it." Okay. But
that's awesome to get that they want to critique you. They don't have to.
Yeah, that sounded too sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. And he was like, and he was like, if I had a promotion, I'd book that 7 days a week. And I was like, well, fucking do it then.
We'll make a promotion now.
Exactly. Like, I'm in, brother. You let me know and I'm there.
That's great though. That's awesome.
So then this past Brooklyn one that we just did,
Mm-hmm.
I did the fish to the outside. Kind of screwed up my ribs to it a little bit. Oh yeah, I did big outside. Everybody caught me, but I had a nagging rib injury, and the minute I hit it, I was in agony. Like I didn't know if I was gonna be able to finish the match.
Oh wow!
It was bad. Like I couldn't bump. I couldn't do really anything. Ooh. And but Colt Cabana comes up after the show. He goes, hey man, did you do that? Did you do that fish to the outside? I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's really good stuff, man. I've never seen that before. And just for Colt Cabana, somebody that's like so seasoned, in the wrestling world to that's seen so much, and especially in his, like the comedy style and stuff like that, for him to never have seen anything like that before was like, all right, this is original. And if anybody fucking steals it, I'm going to kick someone's ass.
They know it's original, man. And that's pretty cool. Like, again, like we said, that they want to tell you that, man. That means a lot, man. And I'm sure you know how much that means. And you found like your bread and butter, man. Like we talked about, I text you right away. You mentioned the comedy element. And I always ask like a lot of the wrestlers that do have a little bit of comedy in there. Do you ever feel, and we were talking to the other wrestlers about this, man, like, wrestling needs to be silly. It needs to be funny. It needs to be fun. It can't always be serious. But do you ever feel, because there are comedy aspects, sometimes you might get pigeonholed or things like that? Because we have talked to other guys about that. I don't personally think that way, but
I think it's one of those things where, because I've done that I was doing that for a while, especially like in the newly kilted version of Lukas Finnegan. Yeah. I was like, once I first put on the kilt, it was very kind of silly and stuff like that. And like it's me. That's the thing. It's like my personality is very much that way. But if you're trying to, there's a difference between doing a comedy style match and then just, you're a comedic person
Yeah.
and being able to work that into like a regular babyface character or something like that. Because I feel like I say goofy shit all the time, and like, you know, like I'll do whatever in the ring to pop myself or to even like break the person I'm working. Like just say something stupid that I know is going to make them laugh. But it's when it really gets down to like the chemistry of the match and like how everything's put together that I know when to shut it off. And it's like, all right, you know, here's, you know, the heel's up on me and I'm, you know, I got to fight from underneath and here's the comeback and here's me, you know, I'm fighting to win now. I'm like, I'll do all the comedy gaga stuff in the beginning. Maybe after, if I win or lose, maybe on the way out, I'll say something like silly to somebody to pop myself or, you know, somebody around me. But once the match gets going and once like we're in the thick of it, I know it's to turn it off.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you know,
smart.
but if it is a comedy style match where it's like, hey, we're doing silly shit to make the fans laugh, then I know just to fucking keep it on the whole time.
Yeah.
But if it's like a serious situation, I know that's like, all right, I can goof around a little bit here and maybe over here. And then after that, it's fight from underneath or whatever like that and take it serious. Cause some people can't turn it off. Some people can turn it off. I just know when to turn it off.
Yeah.
But outside of wrestling, I never turn it off.
Yeah. You know, like you're you, like you said earlier, you bring a lot of yourself into that persona, man. And I know a lot of people that are like struggling to connect or like, you know, they're good wrestlers, but like they're struggling to connect or find, you know, like you found like even just with a move, you found who you are and then the attire and mixing a little bit of comedy, but then taking it seriously, man. Like you found that, man. And I know wrestlers that are struggling to do that. Like that's half the battle, I feel.
Yeah, it really is.
I know wrestlers that have like a persona and they're killing it and they're trying to change things. And I'm like, no, like, you know, people really want to have what you gotta use your bread and butter like you're doing, man. Are you feeling like kind of like that confidence and momentum right now of who Lukas Finnegan is?
I do, but I don't, because my problem is I'll get so caught up in maybe other people's success in a way, not to the point of jealousy. But it's kind of like what do they have that I don't have? But how can I put that into myself? But then it gets into self-confidence. Like, do I have that in myself? And I don't think I do. And like, you know, well, that guy's got a better physique than me. And then, well, I got to start working out more. But then like something gets injured. It's like, well, I can't work out because I'm hurt. And then, so it's a roller coaster.
Yeah, I can understand that, man. I mean, we always talk about, you know, mental health and stuff like that and how important that really is. I mean, a lot of people go through that, especially in wrestling, where a lot of in wrestling it's based on your look or it's based on, you know, how you do things. So I get that, man. I understand.
Yeah, it's one, you know, big piece of advice that Tommy Dreamer told me like years ago when I was wrestling for like a different organization, that he pulled me aside one day and he's like, listen, like you got a good look, you got a good persona, good charisma and everything like that. It's a body business. You got to tune up your body. You got to really, you know, get in good shape. And I got in good shape and then I quit for 3 or 4 years. And it was kind of like, you know, like kind of a wasted effort almost. And then, you know, coming back and it's, you know, Pat Buck said something really important one day when Big E broke his neck. He's like, listen, like, I know some of you guys here, like, you don't like to go to the gym. You don't like to work on your body. You know, he's like, but it's crazy accidents that we have in this company, in this business. His muscles saved his fucking life.
Probably.
It was and it's the same with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 19 with the shooting star press. If that was anybody else, they might be dead.
Exactly. It's one of those
honesty.
It's one of those things where like you don't think about it.
No.
But in the sense of like all the cushioning and how big Big E is, he probably saved his life.
It was very scary.
So it's and it's one of those things like you just kind of like I tend to be a lazy person. I'm not gonna lie. I get
happens, man.
It happens to be more than more than
I gotcha.
so like I've always been very procrastinating in certain things, like, oh, hey, there's this show coming up, you got to learn this song. Okay, like the day before I'll fucking turn it on and actually
I've done that. I've done that.
So like I've always been very procrastinating, and like with, you know, especially with wrestling, and there's a, you know, being a body business and stuff like that. It's like, oh, I'll do a push-up the day before a show and I'll be fine. But you're not. You still look like, I still look like just a, you know, a chunky fucking Irish dude and stuff. That's, you know, that's the main reason I've been wearing the tank top so much lately. It's just like, I can get away with wearing it and you know what I mean? Like, I want to show off my tattoos, but I'm a little chunky right now and I don't want to be seen next to the guy with the 8-pack. So I'll keep the shirt on.
But you know what? You're you, man. And you found
exactly
who you are, man.
Well, that's the thing, is like, I feel like I can get away with it only because I'm funny. And
no,
I feel like that's my dating history.
I think like, yeah, I stop. I think like, I look at you go to the ring and I'm like, he knows, like he found who he is. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's getting a pop because all the people critiquing you are some of the biggest names in the business, some of the most popular names, and them going, oh, I've never seen that before. Let me give you more on this. Yeah. Like I'm sure you don't take that for granted, because I'm sure a lot of people really.
Matt Stryker was another one that was like really quick, but like
please.
He like pulled me aside at a UWA show. It was like, hey, like this when I was doing the trios thing for UWA, and he pulled me aside from my other partners, and I felt bad because they're
exactly.
They're still like right next to me while he's telling me this. But he's like, you out of the entire group are the only person I'd be afraid of in a fight. He's like, he's like, you're the only one that has a look that has like this, that, and the other thing. He's like, you have to use it. And I was like, well, yeah, fucking no, you know, sounds good. And then you get lazy. And then you fucking, you know, you end up kind of like not taking yourself as serious. Or I think I'm always afraid of taking myself too serious, because then you end up with an ego, and then you end up kind of, well, your shit don't stink. And like, even like with guitar playing and stuff, I know I'm good. I don't suck. But when people are like, oh, dude, you're amazing. Oh, this is incredible. I'm just like, thanks, dude. I mean, like, I'm a great. Yeah. They're like, no. You don't understand.
Yeah. Hold on.
No, you don't get it.
He's like, no, you don't get it. Yeah. No, like there's a couple. And I'm like, nah, dude, you're hammered at the bar. You just heard your favorite song.
Yeah. Like, that's exactly. You said it perfectly.
Yeah. Yes, we played Van Halen. Okay, I did it decent enough. I'm not amazing. It was just good enough for your hammered ass.
You said it perfectly, man. But you know what? Again, the fact that everyone's just pulling you aside.
Yeah, you got all these big names pulling you aside, man.
Yeah, man, that's very cool, man. That's awesome. But you have to feel some confidence after this, man. You know, you mentioned they linked up with kind of that Creative Pro, Wrestle Pro crowd, man, and I think that's really been paying off, man. I'm seeing you get that momentum.
It really has.
Yeah,
they became like a whole new, like, because when I started at UWA, like I felt very outcasted and stuff, and it took me a very long time to feel like part of it, you know. And now I definitely feel like, you know, like integral part of their whole, you know, group and everything. And with WrestlePro, it was very like, we're all training from scratch, even if you've had experience. When I joined WrestlePro, we were all training from scratch. So you got to kind of develop those bonds with people and stuff like that. Like GKM has been one of my best friends.
He's such a good dude. We just had him on the show.
I watched
the 80s con.
Oh, thank you. Man.
Oh, he was really cool,
dude. Like I remember. I don't want to step on what questions you might have.
No, please.
Go ahead, brother.
But when we did the first SmackDown.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. Let's do it, man. Yeah, I was going to ask.
Actually, congrats, by the way. Congrats, and you did the segue for us.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So when we did the first SmackDown, when we were part of the Brock and Roman contract sign, I wrote up with GKM, and like me and him just get along with so much like music and like creativity and just putting shit together. And like we did there was an SCW show and he was there to be a fucking ref. And I looked at the booker, Professor West, and I was like, listen, if you need some, like, I don't know who's on, like, who's not on the show, who is on the show. I don't know who I'm working. I want to work GKM.
Wow.
And I was like, and he was like, you should. And I'm like, yeah, dude, like, fucking, he's good. I want him here on the show. I don't want him to be a fucking ref for this. Like, he's here. He's a good fucking worker. I want him in a match with me. And I get to beat him.
There it is. There it is. Yeah. There it is.
But no, I will stick my neck out for that dude, like, no matter what. And when we went to, so we went and did the SmackDown thing. We were just kind of sitting around and trying to figure shit out. And once they told us the whole segment and what we were doing, it was one of those things like, it's hard not to smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and you're walking out and fucking, you got the whole crowd being like, you know, Lesnar's gonna kill you.
Yeah. Nice.
Before the segment even starts, technically.
Yeah.
You know, like we came out during commercial.
Yeah.
So like just walking out and there's everyone telling you Lesnar's gonna kill you and shit. It's like, it was insane. And I'm standing next to GKM and I'm just like, love you, brother. We fucking did this shit. Like, this is crazy. And then we got a metal table thrown at our faces.
That was great. It looked great though.
I don't know who's in charge of WWE, but they need to throw out that fucking table because that's a legit like chef cutting board.
Oh wow! So it wasn't a gimmick table.
No,
wow. Oh.
This is a hard steel table.
And you have Brock Lesnar throwing it at you, so it's like a house.
So like when we were going over it in the beginning, like they kind of like ran through it a little bit, and Brock was kind of like, "All right, I'm gonna throw it here, and I'm gonna do this, and I'll do that, and blah blah blah." And it was like, "All right, cool." And when he even when he fake threw it at us, I was like, my elbows are broken. Like, I was like, oh god, and I'm like, we're screwed if he's throwing this thing. And then like when we're walking out, you got everybody being like, oh, goodbye.
Yeah.
Last rites and all that other shit. So we did the thing. It was amazing. And the whole ride home, me and GKM were just like, this isn't real life. Like, when do I wake up? You know what I mean? Like, this is the fucking Matrix. So we go to do the next one. GKM wasn't at the next one, but Yusev Colton was there. Alex Lusko was there. Xander Torres, if you will. And first we get there, and Pet Buck's like, nothing tonight. Just hang out. We're like, all right, watch the show, eat catering. 10 minutes later, all right, we're gonna need about 8 guys. He's like, oh shit, okay. And we're kind of waiting around, so there's 11 of us. 3 of us were already on the last Brock segment.
Yeah.
So we're like, I guess, we're shit out of luck. It's going to be these 8. We're sitting in catering. Michael Hayes comes by and goes, we're using everyone.
Nice.
We're just like, fuck yeah.
Let's go.
So we get going. We go get security shirts and stuff like that. We kind of just waiting around until like probably maybe like an hour before. No, I mean, maybe not. Maybe a half hour before. And we meet up with Brock, and he's like, all right, they're giving me a chair. It is what it is. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It is what it is. I like it.
At least you
yeah. So he's like, who wants it? And like, all the psychopaths are like, fuck,
that's the right
hell
answer.
Yeah. That's the right answer.
Of course, beat me to death. So he picks out Yusev, me, Colton, and the guy from Even Stevens. And we're just like, all right, this is how it goes.
You, sir, may have another. Yeah.
Yeah. So we go out there. And we find that he goes up on the table. We run out through Gorilla. I almost fucking ate shit because we hadn't gone through the Gorilla beforehand. So like it was like this kind of mazy zigzag of a thing to go out. So we run, and I'm just kind of like fuck, and I was like ran into the wall of the stage.
Oh boy.
So we finally go down. We're running. We're standing in front of Brock. We're like, no, Brock, get out of here, you know. And in that part of my mind, I'm like, we never talked about how Brock's getting off this fucking table. And then the minute I thought of that, fucking, he comes out with a Spartan boot to my fucking chest. And then he just starts whacking everybody. And yeah, I think I took so they missed the first shot. But I think I took 3 share shots.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. But then I was just like, I can't fucking move.
Yeah.
But Brock fucking came out, and he was a good brother to everybody. He's like, hey, thank you guys so much. You know,
wow,
you guys did it out there and everything.
He's been in rare form lately.
Yeah. Cowboy Brock. He's living his best life, bro.
Dude, even the first time when we did the contract signing, he was very like, hey, you know, thank you guys so much. You know, great job. And just like I'm sitting there, I'm like, what happened to the asshole everybody used to talk about?
Yeah.
Like what fucking shitty rumors was going on?
Who knows, man?
Right?
I've heard a lot of great things, and he probably knows you guys are the next generation, man. And he's maybe at that age, like, hey, you know, I'm paying attention.
Well, that's my problem is like when you say next generation, like I'm gonna be 34.
Oh, stop.
You know what? But you know, the same part. It's one of the like, yeah. DDP started when he was like 60 or whatever the fuck it was.
Hey, Cody came out recently and said
Wrestling
Prime is 35 to 42.
Yes.
All right,
just throwing that out there.
He did. Yes,
I'll take it then.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just that's another like kind of disheartening thing sometimes. It's like, did I wait too long to put money into myself? And did I wait?
Dude, you gotta be more glass half full, man, because you gotta think, man.
I'm very pessimistic a lot.
Yeah, right. You gotta joke, or you gotta work with. I was joking around with GKM and everybody. I was like, you know, we always ask everyone like, what is your dream match? Who do you want to work with?
Yeah.
And you're in the main event with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. It's like
that. I told them. Like even like my girlfriend and stuff, I was saying like even if this is it for like a WWE like type deal or whatever, like I was twice in the main storyline.
Yeah, hell yeah.
For Brock and Roman leading into a WrestleMania. Like
hell yeah.
I feel like as an extra, as a security guard extra, there's really no bigger you can do.
No, there really isn't.
Than what we just
Unless you're
did.
Involved in the Kevin Owens Stone Cold segment.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
pretty much it.
Yeah. So like that's it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I can look back and say even if nothing comes of my current run of doing stuff, I can look back and say I did some fucking cool
hell
shit.
Yeah. That you get a Barry Horowitz, you pat yourself on the back for that one.
dude, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely something to be proud of,
Well,
man.
You don't take that for granted.
It's one of those things, like even like, you know, I get to myself as being like a pessimist, and like maybe even as a musician, you would understand like you hit one wrong note in your mind, you're like the whole show's blown.
Yeah. And then you listen back, you're like, oh,
and you're like, yeah,
only I would notice that.
Exactly. And yeah, everybody else didn't notice. Everybody else was still having a good time. And you're like, but in my mind, I'm like, whole show's shit. Fuck it. Throw it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to burn everything I own.
I quit.
But,
yeah.
but like, you know, it's like looking back, even like with music stuff, like I played Starland like 3 or 4 times. And
one of my favorite venues, man. I love Starland so much.
I loved it. And like I played with like Life of Agony and Biohazard and Madball and Whitechapel and All Shall Perish and all these cool ass metal bands that I've always loved. And then like you look at wrestling, and then it's like I've been in matches with Haku and the Patriot and the Patriot, but and like, you know, been on shows with Tommy Dreamer and talked about Naked Gun movies with Al Snow and shit.
I love
like
Naked Gun.
So like I've done so much cool shit, and it's like even if nothing comes out of what I've been doing lately, even though like I've been probably doing the best I've ever done, it's still like I can't look back and say like, oh, it was like boring or worthless or not worth it or anything. Like I've done a hell of a lot of cool fucking shit. That's most people would die to get close to.
I forget who says it. But I mean, probably multiple people say it, but it's not always about the destination.
Beat me to it.
It's about the journey.
Life's a journey, not a destination.
It's about the journey, man. It's about the stuff like over the weekend. I got to meet the Hardys. I got to meet Sting.
Yeah.
Like,
fucking hell, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like some of my heroes. Like it's something I never thought I'd ever do, but here we are. I'm talking to Sting. I'm talking to the Hardys. It's stuff could happen, man.
Yeah, like it's one of those things. Like, do you you try and grit your teeth and like, oh, I'm not gonna mark out. I'm not gonna mark out. I'm not gonna.
Oh, I totally do. I mean, me.
and then they talk to you, and you're like,
yeah, you're like a little kid. You just can't help it.
I want to party with you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like you want. Like I want to shake your hand. You want
and I'm totally contradicting myself here, but it really is about the journey. But that being said, I'm sure you do have some short-term goals, man. Is it to, and I always ask this one for like the indies, especially, man, is it to have kind of like maybe, we always have like the Thanoses and the hunt for gold. Like that seems to be the thing. And then the indie belts and the belt collecting. I know you've held some titles. Is it maybe to target some, Wrestle Pro titles, silver, gold, all that kind of stuff? Or is it maybe like a long-term feud or a long-term storyline? I feel like that's very, we were just talking about it the other day, like a very lost art on the indies as well.
I feel like a lot of cool things about long-term story stuff, especially with like people you like working, is that they make you better and it helps you, and it helps you learn so much. Because like if I say, for me, I think just because I fucking love the dude, if me and GKM did like a fucking like a long, like even though we're both faces or whatever like that, if it ever came down to it, I think if me and him did like a cool like 3 out of 5 series something or other, I think it like just to like, hey, we did this night. Hey, let's change it up. Let's innovate to this. Let's we can do it this way. Like, should we add a gimmick to like whatever match to make it interesting and shit? Stuff like that to me is awesome.
Yeah.
For me, I've never been a very big belt collector guy, only because it's wrestling. So you have the belt because they think you can get fucking tickets sold and you can get money out of you.
And they trust you.
Exactly. So if somebody decides to put a belt on me, then it's like, well, fuck, I'm doing something right. And I got to keep, I'm obviously my work's being acknowledged and people are seeing that I'm, working hard and stuff like that. Yeah, I think for me, it's just, I think long-term, short-term goals, I think, if anything, the pinnacle is to get the Fish on national television.
I like that.
I love that.
I feel like if somebody, any company sees that, I think I've got something, because that seems to be what's the only really thing that, like, I'm fun, I'm funny, I have cool shit here and there, but the Fish is the fucking moneymaker. And I feel like if people see that, the right people see that, then that's not a foot in the door, but kicking the fucking door open. And I think like the only way that's gonna happen is working hard and networking, talking to the right people. Fucking awesome GKM just got a fucking Dark Elevation match.
Yeah, Mark Henry. It was not even a 2-minute match.
Yeah,
Mark Henry,
exactly.
Come on, man, puts him over big.
So that's what I'm saying. And like, but GKM is putting in so much work.
Yeah,
like he's at every show he can get to. He's setting up the ring. He's taking it down. He's networking. He's yes sir, no sir, putting on a black shirt if he's not booked. He's got ref shit if they need it. Like, he's
wrestling fashion nominee, by the way, too. He's looking real dapper.
That son of a bitch. Let me tell you, I show up to my first no, it was Raw. I went to go do a Raw. We didn't get picked for anything. but my first WWE extra gig, and I show up, and I really only have like one suit, and it's like for weddings and funerals. And it's just black jacket, white shirt, black tie, black pants. This motherfucker shows up, and he's got the chains on the turtleneck. He's got the maroon, he's got the burgundy jacket, and I'm like, this classy motherfucker. Even if somebody just sees just how he's dressed, somebody's gonna be like, all right, that guy's got, I look like I'm carrying a coffin. and this guy looks like $1 million.
Yeah.
So after that, got me a new suit.
My man.
There you go.
So you will be a nominee for Wrestling Fashion. Make sure you use that hashtag.
I didn't get a new turtleneck though.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to rip off his whole style.
It's you know what? It's hard to rock the turtleneck. Not many people could do it. I'm not saying you can. I'm just saying in general. It's hard to rock it.
I get too hot. I'm not going to be able to.
Yeah, I don't know.
me.
I don't know if I could do it. Yeah, there's way too much happening there.
Or like was the there's an old Mitch Hedberg joke, and it's like,
wow, Mitch Hedberg reference.
Yeah, and he's
nice.
And he's like, I don't like turtlenecks because it feels like I'm being choked by a really weak guy.
Yeah. He's like, if you're wearing a backpack, yeah. He's so funny, man. Hey, Lucas, dude, it was great talking to you, man. And I'm glad that you have found your niche and you found your way, man. You're absolutely killing it, dude. And not only in music, but in wrestling, man. We noticed you for a while. This is why you're here again, man.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm so happy for you and your success, man, and that your peers and a lot of names and talent are noticing you as well, man. Can we get this man on AEW Dark, please? He hits the fish.
Please, Dark Elevation.
We're gonna be talking about it, man.
I'm telling you, that's all. If that's all I could, even if I miss. Even if it's like
it's there. It was there.
Even if it's like this 2-minute squash, I'm getting beat up, hitting it, Seguri, go for the fish. I miss. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
It goes viral. It's a gift. I'm telling you.
Exactly.
Let's make it happen.
That's all I need to happen.
We'll talk. Let's make it happen. Hey, Lucas, tell everyone where they can follow you, social media, merch, all that good stuff, bro.
Oh my God. I got to get my merch up, man. I'll tell you what. I got to get my merch going. Twitter is just Lukas Finnegan. TikTok is Lukas Finnegan. Instagram is Snake_Pliskin. Facebook, you don't got to worry about because I don't really add fans unless you're a worker. I'll add wrestling friends, but like not friends of wrestling.
I get that. My man. Hey, Lucas, dude, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Man. Stay safe out there.
Guys.
We'll probably see you soon at WrestlePro. And
you know what? Thank you.
Oh, yes. No one wants to talk. No, stop. No
Stop it.
Dude, no, seriously. Thank you, man. We look forward to seeing you July 23rd, man. We look forward to seeing you at WrestlePro. Just stay safe out there. Continue success moving forward, my man.
Thank you so much, guys.
Of course,
Anytime.
man. No problem.
Lukas Finnegan, ladies and gentlemen. Like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out. Peace.